Good morning, everyone. You know, I heard you say that the weather here is like a Key West snow day. Well, I've got another definition for it. It's when we get to wear our cute boots. I tell my northern friends all the time, we like cold weather. And now their definition of cold in ours, not the same. When I was up in Cleveland for Christmas, it was -4 one day. I'm not talking about that kind of cold. No. Even boots and parkas and all that don't really keep you warm. But I tell them we look forward to that so we can wear our cute boots. And I have a really good friend, Maria, who owns Grand Cafe. And if it's a cold night, she'll text me and said, if you're coming tonight, are you wearing your boots? I'm wearing my boots. Well, how was your week? Did you have a good one?
Yes.
Did you have a great day every day? Did you have really good hours every day, all day? So no one upset you, right?
No.
No one crossed your path that irritated you, right? You were never angry, even for a moment, right?
No.
Never. Oh no, none of you ever would ever experience that, would you? No. You didn't happen to read anything in the news that you didn't like. You liked everything you read. What about if you watched the news on TV? Did you see anything that you didn't like? No, not you. You don't draw that into you, do you? Well, let's leave that for a minute. Do you believe that we go around and say in Unity all the time that love is all there is? Do we really believe that? And at what level? Do we believe there's no separation? Okay, we say that. We want to believe it. We want that to be true. We want it to be true, that love is all there is. You know, we've heard love conquers all. Well, that part we truly can believe if we can get there. But when we go through our day, and I have done this countless times, and maybe you haven't, and if you haven't, then you should be up here telling me how you do it, okay? Because all I'm sharing with is the common experience. You come here on Sunday morning, we say all these wonderful things, and I'm getting some kind of sound. Am I creating that little thump noise? It's my heart. It's thumping with love. Maybe. Is that a little bit better? Okay, great. Well, I didn't want Kevin to put this tape on my face. It was messing up my glamour, you know. We can't be having that. I get to wear my boots and a sweater and cute earrings, and he wants to put tape on my face? I mean, do we really have to do that? Obviously, we had to do it. But back to this love thing, and what we want to believe, and what we're able to believe, and how fully we are into believing it. And as I started the story, I come here every Sunday. I leave here feeling full of love. I experience love. I truly experience love in this fabulous sanctuary and among all of you. Because that's what this community is all about. That's how we function. That's how we live. That's how we breathe. But I'm not out the door 15 minutes, and God forbid someone pulls in front of the car when my husband's driving. Now, he's actually pretty good about it, but I can see him rolling his eyes. I'm like, and he has his thing and goes, Key West. So right away, the spell's broken. The spell is broken. And that is where we don't quite get, that we don't quite live in the fact that there's no separation. And we don't quite live in the fact that love is all there is. Because we have, from the human race consciousness in our history, we have a belief. We see these other things. We see expressions of hate in the news, in people's behavior, sometimes right in our own very personal lives. But the reality of it is the absolute truth. And when I say reality, as I use it today, it is the absolute truth in universal principle. The reality of it is hate does not exist in and of itself. In other words, the only way it exists is through our race-conscious belief that hate exists. If love is all there is, there can't be hate. But how we manifest it in this world is through a belief that it could exist, that other people's behavior reflects hatred or reflects ugliness in some form or fashion. But here's the love twist. Here's where we really have to, when we see that, see what we define as hate, or define as ugliness, or define as disease, or define as poverty. Here's where we truly have to stop. We have to stop right then and in that moment and understand the only way that is manifest in form is because we have put that belief into mind, into the universal mind. We spoke the word, whether it was through our thoughts or feelings. We spoke the word into the mind. And these are the terms of Ernest Holmes, by the way. And I'm going to be sharing a few little snippets from this book, Love and Law. And it is a collection of his formerly unpublished talks and lessons. In the foreword or in the dust cover, it says, it is a beautiful collection of his lectures, and it is an easy read. No, it's not. That part is not true. Because these lectures and talks are from 1918, first of all, there is a use of language difference between how we would express those things today versus how he did. Plus, he was so evolved in his spirituality, and he is, by the way, the founder of religious science, in case you don't know who he is. And religious science is very, very similar to Unity. As a matter of fact, I got this book in our Unity bookstore. So he didn't write the book, but it's a compilation of his. So all of the lessons in there are his lessons and his word. And he refers to things from that era when he talks about prosperity, and he talks about someone making $50 a week and being content with that and knowing they can live and feed their family on that. Okay, I think we know when we're talking about, right? But it's also his way of speaking, and there's a few quotes I'm going to share with you. But it is a masterful collection of lessons. And it is all about love and law. And there are many people over the years who felt that Ernest Holmes was more consumed and caught up with law as opposed to love, and put law above love. But in actuality, he says the impulse of love drives the conviction of the universal law. It is the impulse of love through which we tap in to that which is true, that there is no separation. There isn't a they and us. There isn't a you and me. In a spiritual sense, yes, we are individual expressions of the divine, but we are not separate. And he corrects us when we say we are one with God. He said, you can't be one with God because that's a subtle implication of duality, God and me. So I'm just with you. I told you this book was not easy. I have this thin little book. Do not fall on the floor, glasses. Thank you. This thin little book, I have probably I've been actually working with it for about 3 or 4 months, and sometimes I will reread the same 4 pages over and over. I don't move past them sometimes for 10 or 12 days because there's so much packed in this. And at the end of January and the first week of February, I'm going to be doing a 3-session class on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Monday. And we're going to delve into more of this and some other material. And stay tuned for next week for the formal announcement. I stole Carolyn's thunder a little bit there. No, I warned her I was going to mention that. But back to the point of love and the power of love. And if love is all there is, then we have to stop getting angry. If we feel ourselves that way, put up the stop sign. Put it up. Make yourself a little stop sign and put it on a popsicle stick and keep it near you. If you sit down, and I am very guilty of this, guilty is too strong a word, but I definitely do this. I get on my iPad and I start searching for stories. Now, if I'm totally open here, I'm searching for stories about individuals who I don't particularly like. And I want to see, okay, have they finally figured this out and caught up? Now, that is not coming from love. Hello? So I need this talk as much as anyone in the world needs it. But working on it helps me get there. And when I do that, I have really, since I seriously honed in on this talk, I have found myself putting up the stop sign, swishing past that stuff on my iPad, and looking at YouTube videos on cooking techniques, or finding the cute kitty cat stories, or cute videos on Facebook about dogs. There have been so many cute videos about dogs on YouTube lately. I have kitty cats, I don't have dogs, but these are so cute, they almost make me want to go get a dog. Maybe that's love at work there. But the point is, we have to totally release, and this is where the spiritual work is ongoing. We have to totally release our attachment to feeling those things, to being upset. We have to be able to see those behaviors in the world in someone else, of course not in ourselves, no. We have to be able to see those behaviors and know where they're coming from. Where are they coming from? Fear. It's the opposite of love. It is when we withdraw love, we create the false notion of fear. And we all know how we define fear and unity. False evidence appearing real. Well, that situation, that hateful situation, that war in Ukraine, for example, that is real. That has been created in matter, in physical form. It exists. But the belief that created it is false. The belief that created it was a false belief that power and control are necessary for happiness and security. That's where all ugliness, and when you read this book, Holmes is absolutely adamant that everything that we consider negative disease is created out of a false belief that is needed. Or in the case of disease, our historical race consciousness over the generation, over the millenniums really, has brought into us, we grow up believing that, yeah, cancer exists, rheumatoid arthritis exists, heart disease exists. Well, in physical form they do, because they've been brought into our awareness. They've been brought into our life through a consciousness that departs from love. And he goes on to say that if even 51% of the human beings on the planet could reach the pure conviction that love is all there is, there would be no disease, there would be no war, there would be no poverty, there would only be peace, prosperity, and love. And I doubt that there's a person sitting in this room that would not want that to happen. We all want that. But you know what? So do the people that are acting out in the ways we don't like. Because what they really want is peace. They want joy. They want to feel secure and happy. They want love. They have a false notion of how to get it. But we can. We have the power through collective belief, through collective engagement of conviction in this principle. And it has to be a pure, unadulterated conviction. Because think of the things that are good that have happened in your life, and you knew they could happen. You had no doubt they could happen. Or if you did, the doubt was so minimal, you could sweep it aside. That is pure, unadulterated conviction. Some of you have heard my story, that I overcame over a 3-year period of stage 4 cancer when I should not still, but statistically still be on the planet. Because I came to understand the absolute fear that created the reality of cancer in my life. And when I realized that, I could pull that power back and I could infuse my life with love and infuse my life with the conviction of the universal power. Acknowledging what fear brings into your individual life. It's not a weakness. Therein lies the beginning of your power to engage love. And the music, David Lightman called me 10 days ago or so and asked me about my talk and did I have any notions of what music I wanted. I told him I had to think about it, and I'd let him down. Well, we never spoke again, but it couldn't have been more perfect. It could not have been more perfect. I want to love wholly, wholly now. That is absolute conviction. If you can live from that, wholly meaning completely, holy meaning spiritual and God, infused in God. I want to love that way. I want to be that way. The music has been absolutely stunning in its relevance to today's talk. Now, I understand, because I have the same issue, that trying to live from that space of love every moment is exceedingly challenging at times. But did you hear what I just did? I confirmed my own struggle. Yeah. Did I not? Yeah. And I didn't even think about it before I said it. But as soon as the words were out of my mouth, I confirmed that struggle. So what I have to do, and how Ernest Helms calls it treatment, you treat yourself, or you treat. And you don't treat for conditions. He says you don't focus on the condition. You focus on what you want to happen, what you want to be the conditions. And you do that when you come from a space of love in absolute conviction. And he says you have to say it over and over and over in your head sometimes until you absolutely no longer have any doubt. You believe. You believe. He gives the example of in his own life. He used to think that to be wealthy and prosperous, he had to work very hard and save and make great sacrifice and go through all kinds of drama. And finally, one day, as he was becoming more and more aware of these principles, he said, that's not love. That's not love for myself. That's not coming from a space of love. And he said, there's plenty of matter, there's plenty of money, there's plenty of opportunity, there's plenty in this world. I live in a world of plenty. And he said it was only a matter of a week or two before his life totally changed to where he was living, where he always had the money he not just needed, the money he wanted. He always had that kind of prosperity from that point out, because the belief, when you tap into the truth, of universal principle, and you get that truth, that there is plenty, or that there is only love, you obliterate the opposite. You dissolve it. It goes away into the nothingness it was. It can't manifest again unless you slide back into that belief. And I will have to tell you, in my own case, well, I'm standing here as of my last scans in complete remission. If I have moments or I get off into some fear factor, I can invite that right back. So the work's never done. That's why we have to stop. We stop. And we stop in the name of love for ourselves and for the world. And collectively, if we do that, and we can change the world. We can change all those things out there in the world that we don't like, that bring us grief, cause us to be enraged at their behavior. See, I even did it. It's them, it ain't me. their behavior. And we can do that through the power of love. Because love truly is all there is. And I was going to read a quote from here, but I'm not sure that it would be even as effective as if we, each of us, take a moment and just call to mind just one incident in the last week where you can substitute. You can put up that stop sign, pretend that you did, and then where would you go from there? How would you tap in to that love and coming from it? And the absolute way to do it is to see all of those behaviors, all those events, all of those things that have manifested and mattered that we don't want, we don't like, whether it's disease or poverty or war or ugliness or hatred, whatever it is, it has come from a space of fear. It has come from an absence of living from love, living in love, and being in God. Because love and God are the same, and God is all there is. Thank you.